Madam Loretta, right? If I may be correct. We have your CV, and we have gone through your CVs. We need you to take us through your CV. And if there's anything you want us to know, which is not in your CV, feel free and let us know. Your CV. Press that mic.
Distinguished Chairman of the committee, distinguished Vice Chairman, distinguished Senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and members of this esteemed committee. My name once again is Loretta Onoiche. I was born in 1959, and although I was born in the north, where my parents and grandparents worked, at 4 years old, I was taken back to my area, that is where my parents came from, Delta State. And that's where I had my primary and secondary school education. After this, after the secondary school education, I went on to train as a teacher, a secondary school teacher, majoring in business education. And then thereafter, I settled in Calabar with my family, where I produced 2 beautiful children.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And then, while in Calabar, I began to teach in an award-winning primary school, Auntie Margaret International School. And from there, I went to do my degree at the University of Calabar. Some years later, after my daughter, my first child, got admission to study at the Federal Government College of Owerri. Some years after she's been there, there were issues with her in the school. And I thought these issues are not what I was ready to face. So I took my children and I left the country. And when I got to the United Kingdom, although I had become a head teacher in Calabar, I was the youngest head teacher in Calabar, and they used to call me Eaglet headmistress. Although I was a head teacher, having arrived in the UK and teachers were in short demand, I had to retrain to continue teaching. That gave me the opportunity to volunteer in so many schools, primary schools, secondary schools, working with people with learning difficulties, working with the elderly, working with black, white. I had all those experiences. And 3 years on, after arriving in the UK, I qualified as a lecturer and a trainer for people with learning difficulties and disabilities. Now, this training made it possible for me to shun all form of vices, because I became an advocate for people who are disadvantaged in life. And my nature being that I have no partisanship bone in my body, it was easy for me to adjust to this job. I took it on until a few years later, when I resigned from lecturership in order to look after children who were taken into care, or children who were at risk of being taken into care. These children have severe behavioral issues, and we are bound either to the psychiatric hospital, to end up in psychiatric hospitals or not, but that was the role I began to take. It was during taking this role, while taking this role, and having won an award for it, I went for a meeting where we were asked to come to support the then candidate, the president of the then candidate Muhammadu Buhari. And then that's how we were all asked to come to work with him in Nigeria. And that's how I began to work with him. I have seen the petitions, against me. Oh, okay, not yet. Okay. Why? I have seen some of the petitions written against me, but it's instructive to note that the petition has not come only from the side of PDP, but many vocal people that have been against my being here today are also in APC. And that says it all, because they know that I am not partisan, that for me it's about the truth, it's about the Constitution, and it's about the law. And that's where I always stand. So I keep saying that nobody has anything to fear with me getting this role, because I will be going to represent the people of the South, giving them, sitting in a position where I can ensure that the votes of the ordinary Niger Deltan count. It is irrespective of whether we are Christians or Muslims, whether we belong to one political party or the other. As far as I'm concerned, I think I'm the Madam Due Process. I like to follow due order, and that is why all the attacks, because I follow due process. I follow the law, and I follow the Constitution.
Gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. First, Mr. Chairman, ordinarily I would have loved to be speaking enthusiastically in support of this nominee. I would have loved to, for two reasons. Firstly, she's a woman, and for those of us, all of us who are in support of encouraging women, this would have been lovely. The second reason is that she's from my zone, and she's been nominated as a national commissioner representing my zone. But, Mr. Chairman and colleagues, there are some issues that are bothering all of us and so many people in the country, and she herself has alluded to them. So let me draw the nominee's attention, Mr. Chairman, to two of these. The first is with respect to your capacity to be impartial. And as you yourself have stated, you are aware of the concerns and objections raised, according to you, by people from across the political divide. And that is the situation. And I would like you also to draw your attention to you talked about the law and the Madam Due Process, and you like to follow the Constitution and the law. The Constitution requires that for this type of nomination, if Mr. President were nominating you to be a member of his cabinet or any other executive position, no concerns. But for this kind of position, the Constitution and the laws of this country require that you do not belong to any political party. You have answered that, or you will answer that later. But beyond that, the Constitution, even if you are not a card-carrying member, requires you to be impartial and non-partisan. So I would like you to address these concerns. You are not a card-carrying, are you a card-carrying member of a party? And even if you are not, do you consider yourself to be partisan? Partisan, that's the word, partisan. Then number two, you know, Madam Nominee, that the zone that you are to represent is made up of 6 states. And there are concerns raised that the state that you are being nominated to represent, i.e. Delta, already has INEC commissioners. And within the South-South zone too, the sub-zone, Delta Edo, the person you are nominated to replace was from that sub-zone. So there are concerns also, as you know, from the zone that your nomination is not proper. I would like you to make your comments about that. Mr. Chairman, I yield the floor to other members.
Loretta Onoiche, and to follow up a question from what the last two speakers have raised concerning your nomination, which has attracted an avalanche of petitions. And the summary of it all is that the petitioners are alleging that you are a member of the APC. And in one of the petitions, an affidavit that you saw before in court was attached where you affirmed your membership of the APC. Now, this body that you have been nominated to become a member of, the INEC, is an institution that plays the role of an umpire in our elections in this country. Without prejudice to your response, just to say that impartiality and neutrality of the officials of INEC is very critical to the credibility of whatever exercise that INEC undertakes in terms of election in this country. A situation where in a football game, where two teams are already in a process of playing, and you have one of the players from the other team now takes up the role of the referee, pulls up his jersey.
Sorry, my distinguished, I think you asked questions.
Yeah, I'm not.
You know, as a
So
lawyer.
what happened is that if one of the players become a referee in that game, no matter the intentions of that player, it will violate the rules of that game. And of course, the impartiality and neutrality that will be expected of such an umpire will become suspect. So under the circumstance, these petitioners have asked that you recuse yourself from this nomination on the basis of their allegation, which is you are going to respond to. And we would like to get the secretariat, the clerk, to get that petition that has the affidavit that you saw to, so that it will help in your response to this question. Thank you.
My sister, let me congratulate you on your appointment and thank you for coming over to have this conversation with us on behalf of the good people of Nigeria. There's nothing personal. So we are senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Our job is to do our job in the best way we can on behalf of our countrymen and women, including yourself. I know that you're a committed political appointee of Mr. President, and our president is a man that's very, very conscious of his integrity. And I also am aware too that you do everything possible to help all of us to protect that integrity, because he is the symbol of our nation. On this issue of your nomination, there are a number of concerns from different groups. I can see the concern of PDP, but I'm not worried about that, because that may appear to be partisan. I'm more worried about the concerns of the civil society and also the international community. Now, two issues quickly come to my mind. One is the issue of federal character. My friend and colleague, former governor of Bayelsa, Dixon, had pointed out that you are from Delta. I have been nominated for the job of a national commissioner. And in the interim, you have one of your sisters who is also occupying that same position. Her name is May Abamujembo. Her term will expire by December 2021. And now you have been nominated to occupy the second position, because each geopolitical zone is entitled to only 2 in the National Commission of the INEC. So that means that if you are cleared, you are confirmed, that just Delta State will occupy those 2 slots meant for Bayelsa, Rivers, Cross River, Akwa Ibom, Delta, and Edo. Now, the problem here is that if you look at our constitution, especially section 14.3, which I'm going to read to you, it says that the composition of the government or the federation or any of its agencies and the conduct of its affairs shall be carried out in such a manner as to reflect the federal character of Nigeria and the need to promote national unity and also to command national loyalty, thereby ensuring that there shall be no predominance of persons from a few states or from few ethnic or sectional groups in that government or in any of its agencies. So the problem, therefore, is that if we do not respect the rights of those other states in the South-South to have someone of their own into the Electoral Commission of Nigeria as federal commissioner, we are just creating problem for all of ourselves. Because when people are not justly treated, they are hardly interested in peace. So, and I believe that you will not want anything that will disrupt the government of our president. Now, the second point is this issue of the membership of INEC. On the 1st of July 2021, you wrote a letter to the chairman of this distinguished committee, Senator Kabir Gaya, former governor, member of the chairman of this committee, a long-term standing senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
And your friend.
And my very good friend. In paragraph 5, Madam, paragraph 5 of this letter, line 3, you said, a register was opened and we all put down our names as members of Buhari Support Organization and APC. These are your own words. A register was opened and we all put down our names as members of Buhari Support Organization and APC. Now, with all of this and the... yeah, I have it here. Can show Chairman.
We should have copies of this thing. No, I don't have it here.
Well, you gave it to me. You gave it to me this morning. Now, Chairman, can I proceed?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Now, with all of this, and I'm sure you'll be following up as somebody who is familiar with social media, all they've been saying about how you have manipulated facts, figures, truths in the social media. And looking at all the circumstances and their love for our president, are you not considering doing exactly what our sister, the former Minister for Finance, did when she was challenged about the NYC? She quietly resigned just to make sure that the president maintains that integrity. And then she went to court just to clear her name and her integrity. And just yesterday, by the grace of God, the court cleared her. So now, in the interest of this country, in the interest of Mr. President, and for your own personal future, are you not considering, in view of all I've said and what I'm sure you're aware of, because I'm sure that all these petitions were brought before you, are you not considering of helping Mr. President to manage this by quietly thanking him here in this committee and say, I'm withdrawing, and let me go and try as much as possible to clear all this. This is my submission.
It is true that Madam is a nominee of Mr. President. It is true there are a lot of petitions against the appointment of Madam. It is true Madam has the opportunity now to answer questions from the committee. So the comment I want to personally do or say is, there is nothing wrong I can see in the appointment of Madam as INEC National Commissioner. All the points, according to the petitions I read, most of them are sentiments. Because you can see petitions even from Delta State, from people of her tribe, her religion, making petition against her. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, what the DSP, former DSP said now is the reason why this woman should be confirmed. Here in Nigeria, we put this woman, the former Minister of Finance, into a lot of accusation because of NYSC certificate. Nationally and internationally, people were against her simply because she is serving the government of President Muhammad Buhari. And yesterday, only yesterday, the court clears this woman that she is capable and have the right to serve the government of President Muhammad Buhari without NYSC certificate. We all know this. What I'm trying to say is, let us allow this woman to humbly answer her questions, leave, then let the committee do its work according to the law, not according to sentiment of anybody. Let us not allow anybody that say he has this because of this. If the law disqualifies this woman, let us disqualify her. If the law allows her to work as National Commissioner of INEC, please and please let us allow this woman to work. Because whatever we do, history will judge us. That time we were accusing this Adiola, or what is her name, Minister of Finance. We all agree that she is a criminal. She was a criminal for doing Minister of Finance without national NYSC. When I saw this ruling yesterday from the court, to God who made me, I sympathize with that woman because I was part of those that criticized her based on civil society's explanation, based on religious sentiment, based on geographical sentiment, and only yesterday the court came and said that this woman can serve as minister without NYSC certificate. And up to now, nobody is challenging that court ruling. We have never had anybody going to another court to say she's not supposed to. All these people that were talking, stop talking. All these civil societies, I'm sorry for the civil society, and with due respect for the civil societies, they are very useful to us. But my problem is when we put sentiment in what we are doing. Let her answer her questions, leave us, let us sit down as a committee, look at what the law says. Category member, partisan, sympathy, let us look at all of them. And let us look at everything that is possible to be looked at. If we know that, if we reject this woman, and later the law will come and say that she has the right to be, to God who made us, to God who made me, history will judge us.
Chairman, distinguished Vice Chairman, and distinguished Senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I will start by addressing the issue of having two people nominated and one already serving at INEC from Delta State. I am from Delta State. Mrs. May Abamuchembo is from Delta State, but she was nominated, she's married to somebody from Cross River State, and she was nominated to represent Cross River State, not Delta State. That's one. Another question is about my capacity to be impartial. Like I said, as a lecturer and a trainer of people with learning difficulties, these are people, the set of people that suffer all kinds of partiality, all kinds of bias. I have learned over the years to stand with the law, with the Constitution, and with due process. I work in line with policies and procedures. So I'm not going to say this one is APC, this one is PDP, this one is that. In my area, we have so many parties. We have APGA, we have other parties in my area. But since 2019, when President Muhammadu Buhari won his second term, I have removed myself from anything political, not even anticipating that I will be here today defending my nomination to INEC. It was never in my, I never envisaged it, but here I am. Since 2019, I have not had anything to do with any political organization in this country. Even Buhari support organizations, I have not had anything to do with them since 2019. So when APC decided to do a proper registration of their members and to revalidate their membership, I did not take part in that exercise. So as I'm sitting down here, I am not a member of any political party in this country.
Distinguished Chairman and very distinguished colleagues, I believe this is part of the beauty of democracy, that when people have issues, they always will have the platform to raise such issues. Also, that when someone is alleged, the person will also have an opportunity to respond. Madam Onoiche, as a member of this committee and as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, by the grace of God, I had my own views regarding your nomination by Mr. President. Also, as a member of All Progressive Congress, a political party, I had my own position. And in all of these three capacities, the position was the same. Based on what I read on social media and some other, media, print and electronic to some extent, I felt it was not a proper nomination. But let me tell you one thing. Regardless of what any of us thinks here, all we can do is to listen to you and then sit down, review the whole situation, make a recommendation. And on the floor, members will still have an opportunity to discuss, if they need be, before taking a final decision. But having listened to you and having read through a lot of the gamut of documentation here, let me first congratulate you that I don't know whether it was your own making or whether it was their own decision. You pulled the media. We were to screen 6 people. Yours was thank God it was the last one. We would have spent more time on it, and all these gentlemen of the press would have been denied the opportunity of going to cover other assignments. It was the last one. And just look at what is happening. Now, this imposes a duty on you that if, for any reason, your nomination gets confirmed by this Senate, that, you are a signature of all eyes. On the other hand, if for any reason the nomination does not get confirmed by the Senate, you still owe the world some explanation. But as a senator and as a lawyer, I know that the documents here do not in any way give us or give me as a senator a ground to say she must not
be confirmed. The denomination should not be confirmed. And what do I mean by this? You were accused of being a member of APC, a card-carrying member of the party, which would have been in violent violation of the clear provisions of our Constitution. Your submission to this committee, given to us here, the words that you spoke to this committee, and Mr. Chairman, if it needs to be placed on testimony, on oath, to repeat the fact that she's not a member of any political party, that should also be done, you know? I mean, given all of this, I do not have any reason. Yes, you work for Mr. President. I say for the record, the distinguished chairman of INEC, who has done very well and who is respected by all of us and by Nigerians, worked in several capacities, in TED Fund, different agencies, appointed by the president of this country. Then it was not an APC government. But, that did not count against him. A lot of the INEC commissioners that are serving today serve in various capacities, appointed by different governments in this country, under a different ruling party. That did not disqualify them. But if you had come here in May, in last year, we disqualified a presidential nominee from Osun State, who was nominated as a resident electoral commissioner, because people came and said he was a member of APC. And they had documentation, and all these gentlemen of the press, of the media were there. And even though he was trying to deny and all that, we stood our ground that he could not be absorbed in that capacity, and we screened him out. And nothing would have stopped us from doing the same thing to you. My only request, sir, would be that Madam Onoiche be placed on oath to repeat what she said as to whether or not she's a member of a political party. And the rest, as a committee, we can sit down later to take our final decisions.
You swore to an oath, an affidavit, rather, in the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory. I don't know whether it is. I would want you to take a look at this document and confirm whether it is your own or not. In paragraph 3 of that affidavit, it said that I am also engaged in active politics and a member of the Neighborhood Watch, and has also contested the local government elections under the Conservative Party in the United Kingdom. I am also a member of the All Progressives Congress and a volunteer at the Buhari Support Organization. Now, I would want her to take a look at this document, and then, hello. And after taking a look at this document, you said during the last verification exercise by the APC, you did not partake in it. At what point did you discontinue your membership of the party? At what point? So that let the records bear it. Thank you.
This is not the stage for the nominee to take an oath.
Yes.
There is time for it. If eventually she's screened and cleared, at the time she's been appointed, then she will subscribe to the oath as prescribed in the Constitution. He will only put somebody on oath in a committee if we're having if there was an investigation. We're not investigating. This is not an investigative hearing. We're only screening, raising issues, in fact, asking questions based on issues she herself raised. And these things are documented. They are legal matters. And I believe that after hearing from her, when we retreat and we sit as a committee, we can evaluate what she has said vis-a-vis the evidence we have, and we take a decision. So I don't think it is proper for us to put her on the dock, as it were. She's not on trial. That's the point I'm making.
Distinguished Senator Bamidele, and I don't know his mind. But what I understood by him saying that she should take an oath on that point is simply for us to agree completely that what she said is in her mind and she knows what she's doing by taking an oath. It's not that we are trying her. She said that she is not a card-carrying member of the political party. Okay, we can go further to let her take an oath. She knows the meaning of taking an oath. It's just to confirm for the committee that we can take to bank what she said, that she is not a member of a political party. We are not in any way trying her. If we leave this place without taking the suggestion of Bamidele, everybody can go somewhere and say what she said is a lie. She's just saying it. If she take an oath, every Nigerian knows the meaning of taking an oath. I support 100% that the woman should take an oath to confirm what she said. Let her answer the question of Senator Genda. Will answer that one. I'm not supporting her. Let her answer the question of gender. Then Senator Genda has asked her a question. Let her answer.
Silence, please.
Let her answer. If she fails, we disqualify her.
Senator.
But we can't do injustice to her.
Your mic.
The chairman, my very distinguished colleagues.
You should remember that we're not in the court of law.
Yes, that's. I would like to also remind the committee that this is not a court of law.
Yes.
Now, as I said from the beginning, there's nothing personal about this. We are looking for the best for our country, and we are looking at our electoral system, which is actually a test of the integrity of our nation. So there's nothing personal. So we're just trying to get at the bottom of the allegations. For now, it's still allegations. So on the issue of the oath, I would like to advise that we should not even go that way, because it's not contained in any of our rules. This is the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The issue of confirmation hearing is guided by our rules, and there's no provision whatsoever in our rule that asks you to put a nominee to go on oath. That's totally unacceptable. It's not even our rules. I mean, that makes us rather primitive. We won't go to that, yes. So what I think is that, as the Dixon said, when she answers at the best of her ability, it's now we'll not come back and evaluate her answers. And if we need to call her back, we'll call her back. If we have satisfied, then we will take a decision. But for us to say we're going to put somebody on oath here, to determine whether she's saying the truth or not, I believe that's not even fair to her anyway. So I just want to suggest, Mr. Chairman, that the one question that we put to her, let her answer to the best of her ability. We'll come back, and then we'll take a decision.
My distinguished colleagues, we decided to allow the gentleman of the press to be here. We could hold the meeting without the press and then decide on the nominee. But we'd like to be transparent. Nigerians have talked a lot about the nominee. So we want it to be public. And I'm sure the press are here and from different organizations or medias. So let us exhaust all other means in such a way that when these headlines are coming out tomorrow, the press can now do justice on opinions of both the Nigerians and the nominee herself. So I will then you answer those questions, and then Senator Bamidele will move a motion for you to take an oath to be seconded by one of our colleagues. Thank you. Go ahead, Madam.
Thank you, distinguished senators. I have answered. I thought I have answered. Okay. 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 The same questions. No. Oh, okay. Oh, the affidavit was at the early stage of my returning to Nigeria when somebody libeled me. I had just returned to the country and working with Mr. President. So as at that time, yes. So and then, but like I said, from 2019, after the president was elected for the second term, my duty in politics was ended and it stopped. And I didn't. Nobody, the media, they are here. None of them can say they have. Prior to then, I was on every TV, I was on radio, I was writing for newspapers, I was everywhere. But from 2019, none of them will say they have seen me in their station. I have stayed away from all those things, just concerned with supporting Mr. President.
So at what point did you discover Sorry.
Distinguished. Did you have a validation of party research?
Okay, Madam, I think we have heard you, and I will just request that Senator Bamidele move a motion. Let's put her.
She should take an oath because that was our decision.
Press the button.
If they want me to, I'm ready.
And very, very distinguished colleagues, let me just say that I should not be misunderstood on my positing that the nominee be placed on oath. What I'm asking her to take is not an oath of office. That's responding to what my distinguished brother, His Excellency Senator Dixon said. It's not an oath of office. She can only be eligible to take an office if and when she's confirmed by the Senate. The oath I refer to is that given the severity of the observations, or if you like, allegations made by some members of public, which we are not going to ignore, and also armed with very clear constitutional provision. Let me tell you the relevant constitutional provision. Sir, with your permission, distinguished chairman, is in the third schedule of our constitution, and then section 156, subsection 1A of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended, 1999 as amended. In section 1A, says no person shall be qualified for appointment as a member of any of the bodies aforesaid, and the bodies were listed, Code of Conduct, different ones, including INEC. And then, if he is not qualified or is qualified for election as a member of the House of Reps, provided that a member of any of these bodies shall not be required to belong to a political party. And in the case of the INEC, which is what is important to me, he shall not be a member of a political party. He or she shall not. The provision here is that she must not belong to a political party, or he must not belong to a political party. People have their histories. When was she appointed? She was appointed by Mr. President. Well, this is part of the appointment, just going on. Because that appointment will be null and void without this. So, she's in the process of being appointed. Today is the 8th of July, 2021. The question before this nominee, distinguished colleagues, is she a member of a political party? And I would like her to be placed on oath on this. Because part of what we're also doing right now, whether we like it or not, a part of this has become an investigative hearing. It's not as if we are referring all these petitions to anybody. We are the ones that are there, and at the end of the day, the committee will meet and take a final decision. But before she leaves, I would like that she be placed on oath in answering that question, are you a member of a political party?
1 minute observation.
Sorry.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Sadiq.
Sadiq, 1 minute.